I want to teach you a little bit about real and fake leather. I think it's important in a city like this, because it's such a famous city for leather, naturally people make a lot of fake leather products. So generally when I ask people what they think is the sign of real or fake, they tell me the smell of leather, the texture of it, the genuine leather label, all of which these things are kind of myths about leather. To start with the smell, what you're actually smelling is just all the chemicals that are used on leather. It's the smell of this wax, the dyes, the chemicals used in the tanning process. All these things combined together makes a smell which a lot of people mistake for leather. It's actually just the smell of chemicals. Now, essentially leather is just skin, right? Dried skin. And just like our skin, if it's clean, it doesn't really smell like anything. Genuine raw cowhide like this, before it gets treated, is pretty much odorless. It doesn't really smell like anything. They use the exact same chemicals on fake leather, so real and fake leather smell identical. Now, for the texture of leather, the look and the feel of it, the grain, the flexibility of it, on this smooth glossy side, it's identical with fake leather. It's impossible to tell the difference. Whoever it is that makes this fake leather, they've gotten so good at it that even leather craftsmen can't tell the difference on this side. Now, on this side of leather, the suede part is the best way to tell if something's real or fake. Now, they can make fake suede, it's possible, but they don't do it because it's very expensive. And for them, it's actually cheaper to use real leather than to make fake suede. So if you guys can spot suede on something, that's your best indication that that piece of leather is genuine. The trick is actually spotting suede on most items like wallets, purses, jackets. They're almost always lined with cloth on the inside and you can't see suede. One thing you can try on a jacket, for example, you can pinch the leather on the back side, peel the lining off the front side, and with your thumb rub for the friction of the suede. If you feel something catching underneath, if you feel a rough friction, that's a good sign you're probably feeling suede on the inside. Now if it's very slick underneath the lining, if it's smooth, or if when you're rubbing it, it makes a noise kind of like jogging pants or something like that, that's not such a good sign, it might be fake. You can't really do this on smaller items. Let's say, for example, a wallet. It's such a small item that when the tailors put these together, they need to use a lot of glue. More often than not, the cloth, it's glued right to the back side of the leather. You can't see the suede, you can't feel the suede, making it pretty much impossible to tell if it's real or fake. Now, for the genuine leather label, if it's written in Italian, it'll say Vera Pelle, same thing though. The Italian law says that this label has to be sewn onto genuine leather. That sounds very nice. What that actually means though is that this label is sewn onto this back panel and it certifies this back panel as genuine leather. It says absolutely nothing about the side panels, nothing about the sleeve, the collar. They could all be fake and that's perfectly legal. So, just because you're buying something that says genuine leather on it does not mean the entire item is genuine leather. The only thing you can really do is just have good shopping sense about you. And this is especially true about the outdoor markets around town. In the outdoor markets, these people, they're willing to tell you just about anything to get you to buy their products. Because they know as tourists you guys are leaving in a day or two. If your purse or your wallet falls apart in a couple of days, there's no one for you to complain to about this. So they have no problem lying to you, offering you incredible discounts and all these other things. I can help you spot some of their gimmicks, might help you to tell if you're buying real or fake products. First thing you got to watch out for is when people offer you incredible discounts. They're going to be very nice to you, they're going to approach you in a very nice way and chit-chat with you and ask you where you're from. They're not doing this because they want to get to know you or be your friend. They're trying to get an idea in their head of how much money they think you can afford. So let's say they find out that you're Americans, automatically they're going to assume you're rich. Let's say they arrive at the number, they think you can afford 200 euros in their head. Well, they'll offer you that item for 400 euros, let you talk them down to 200, then you feel very good about yourself, you feel like you've negotiated with these people, and this is something they do to kind of take your attention away from the fact that it might be a fake item. Most people, if they feel like they're getting a good deal, then they want to buy something. Now, what you got to understand is that leather is a very expensive material, especially here in Florence. So incredible deals like these don't really exist. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. So if they're marking down a 500 euro jacket to 250 euros just for you, that should set some alarms off in your head. Now also they have a lot of gimmicks that they try to use. There's a flame test that's very popular, there's a scratch test that they do. They do these things to prove to you that their products are genuine. Has anyone seen these done before? Alright, I'm going to show you the flame test. This is really popular. They do it a lot out in the markets. What they do is they tell you that genuine leather is fireproof. So they run a flame up and down a sleeve or a purse or something like this, and they tell you if it doesn't burn, that means it's genuine. But leather, in the end, it's just skin, right? I made a skin. I'm obviously not fireproof. The trick is they just keep the flame moving like that. If you keep it moving, you can't even feel the heat of it. If I were to stop the flame in place, even for just a second, I'll start to burn just like leather will burn, just like all organic materials burn. There's no such thing as a fireproof cow, therefore there could never be fireproof leather. This is just something that they're going to tell you to try to sell you. Now, I don't really know how the scratch test works. I don't know what the gimmick of it is. But you have to imagine, if you were to go to a very fancy store, for instance, Armani, Gucci, something like this, never in a million years will they let you test their leather products with a flame or scratch their leather to see if it's real or fake. So if you see people doing this to their own products out on the street, you can be pretty much sure that they're selling fakes. Also, whoever you're going to buy leather from, make sure you ask a lot of questions. Ask this person what type of leather it is, how the product got made, how it got shipped into the city. If they're a legitimate leather vendor, then they should know those things. So if they don't know those things, if they're kind of tripping on their answers, not really making you feel confident about it, definitely move on, shop someplace else. That's about it. Do you guys have any questions? Nothing? No questions at all? Alright, if there's no questions, I want to bring you guys inside. I got to explain to you some things about the shop. We can burn your initials into items here. We can emboss your initials in gold. There's a jewelry department. I got to explain to you tax-free shopping and pay particular attention to how our receipt system works. It's kind of confusing.
I do have a question.
Yes.
What should their answers be as to how the material got into the city?
Well, if they tell you it's 100% leather from here in Tuscany or something like that, that's probably a lie. There's not a huge cattle industry here in Italy. Generally, we buy leather from other places, usually Argentina, Australia, places that do have large cattle industries. If they try telling you that leather is indestructible or something like that, that's a lie. It does everything that our skin does. It marks, it burns, it'll scratch. As far as there's a whole lot of different types of leather. Pretty much any animal there is, you can make leather out of it. They all have different purposes and different prices. I don't know, it's kind of hard to give you a specific answer on that.
That's fine. Thank you.
Anything else? Okay, let's go inside. We'll do this very quick and then